Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. In the previous sessions, we have seen some CPA problems related to TCS Explore, and in this video, we are going to see one more TCS CPA sample Python problem. Let's see the today's problem. This is the summary of the previous session. In our previous sessions, we have gone through some basic concepts like what is a class, what is an object, and reference variables which are required for the CPA examination. And then we have seen some sample CPA problems, and we have already seen some coding tips related to CPA exam. And all those recorded videos will be available at Syed Bademiya YouTube channel. You please go through there. And as a part of this today's session, we are going to solve one more CPA problem. Observe the problem statement. First of all, you need to create a class sponsor, and these are the attributes for that class. Observe the class attributes: the sponsor name, string type, the sponsor company, again string type. Sponsor types is nothing but the list of the strings which represents what are the other companies that sponsor is tied up with. And the next one is the category of the sponsor. It is also of string type. Now let me done up to this. Let me do. Yes. Observe the editor. First I need to take a class, right? The class name is sponsor. And then we need to take a constructor in order to initialize all those instance variables. The instance variables are we need to take are the sponsor name, the sponsor company, and similarly sponsor company, the sponsor types, and sponsor category. These are the four variables we need to initialize. Let me take all the instance variables. Self dot sponsor name SN. Similarly, I need to initialize sponsor company S company, self dot S company equal to sponsor company, and then self dot this one yes tie-ups, which represents the tie-ups of various companies with that sponsor. Observe here, yes tie-ups, everything would be small. S tie-ups, let me take like this, it would be more meaningful. S tie-ups, yes TUPS, hold a minute, yes TUPS we need to initialize here. Similarly, we need to initialize the category, right? Category of the sponsor. So scat I need to initialize with. We have taken four values and we have initialized the four instance variables here. This is the way to create a class and initialize the parameters, initialize the variables of an object. Now, as a part of this, see what we need to do. You need to take the two methods. Those two methods are get sponsor is one method, and the next method is find sponsor with maximum tie-ups. Observe what they are going to do. Get sponsor is a method. It takes a string as a parameter, and what does it represent? It represents the category of the sponsor. Now, once it taken the parameter, it need to return the name of the sponsor who belongs to that category. And the next one is the second function, find sponsor with maximum tie-ups. It finds the name of the sponsor from the complete sponsors list and who has maximum number of tie-ups, right? Who is having maximum number of tie-ups, it will return their names. Okay, now let's see how to do it. Yeah, now let me take it here. The first thing is what? The first thing is we need to take a method, right? The method name is get sponsor. Let me take it here. DEF is a keyword in order to take a method, and the method name is get sponsor. Yes, we have taken a method, and inside this method we are going to take two parameters. The first parameter is all sponsors list, and then the next one is the sponsor category we need to check. Okay, sponsor category to check. Okay, CHK means checking. You need to check this sponsor category, and you need to give the name of the sponsor who is belonging from this category. Okay, now for that, observe here what we need to take. First, I'm going to take a names array as empty, and what I'm going to do, for every sponsor present in the sponsor list, what I need to do, I need to check their sponsor category, right? Means what? S dot S category, sponsor category. For our better understanding, I am converting into lowercase so that there will be no case sensitive issues. Okay, all comparisons would be case insensitive. Okay, S category dot lower means sponsor category I have taken, and I need to check that category with this category, right? Whatever the value has been passed here means yes category check dot lower. If both are same means if there's a match of the sponsor category, then in that case I will add that sponsor name to the sponsor name to the name list name, right? Names list. So yes dot sponsor name means as name. I'm going to add the sponsor name. I'm going to add the sponsor name to the names list. Yes, it has been added here. Now what I need to check? Finally, I need to check whether that names list is empty or not. Which means what? If the names list is empty, means length of names is less than 0, right? For example, let me take like this. If length of names is greater than 0, which means what? It is not empty. If it is not empty, I will return their names. Okay. Let me sort the names array and then I will return names dot sort and let me return the names array. Return of names list. It's done. Now, else case means what? If the names list is empty, in that case, I need to return none. None. That's it. This is the way to write the code for this method so that it will take this as a parameter and it will check all the sponsors list and it will find whether there is any sponsor with that sponsor category or not. And the next method is what? The next method is find sponsor, right? Let me check it out here. The next method is find the sponsor with maximum tie-ups. Let me copy and paste it here. And we need to implement this method. And what this method is going to take, this method is going to take simply a sponsors list, and out of the sponsor list it will give the name of the sponsor who is having maximum number of tie-ups. Okay, now let's see how to do it. First, let me initialize the max value to 0. Okay, once I initialize the max value to 0, what I'm going to do means for every sponsor present in the sponsor list, I'm going to check it out, right? How many sponsors, how many types he was having. See, if length of s dot types, right? S dot s types, s types. Hold a minute, s types. See, this variable means, hold a minute, types means this many number of types that sponsor has, right? These are the number of types that a sponsor has. Now, if it is greater than the max value, now I will consider that is the maximum thing, okay, which is nothing but that value is going to be the maximum number of sponsors, maximum number of types. Let me take it like this: max equal to length of s dot s types, right? Similarly, while repeating over this process, what happens means you will end up with, in this max variable, you will end up with a variable, a value, a constant value which represents the maximum length of types. Okay, among all the sponsors list, you will get a maximum number of types, right? Now what I need to check, I need to know who is having that maximum, right? Who is having that maximum number of types. For that, let me take the name value as a none, initially none. Okay, now what I need to check, I need to check again for every sponsor present in the sponsor list. What I need to do, I need to check if length of s dot s types means what? If the number of types for that sponsor is equal to the maximum, means is equal to the maximum number, in that case he would be having the maximum, right? Maximum number of types. In that case, immediately I will initialize the name variable to s dot sponsor name. Once I have taken the sponsor name, I am going to break my loop. Means I got a person, I got a sponsor name who is having a lot of types. Once it was done, I need to return the name, right? I'm going to return their name. Yes, it's done. Now I need to pass the input, right? Let me take the input accordingly. First, what I need to take, hold a minute. Let me show you like this. Okay. Let me type it here. First, what I need to take, I need to take the number of sponsors, right? How many sponsors are available? For that, let me take n equal to int of input. It represents what was the number of sponsors available. Once I have taken it, and for I in range of n, what I'm going to do, I need to read the data of all the sponsors, right? First one is the sponsor name. Sponsor name is a string, right? That's why I'm going to take input. Next one, what I need to do, hold a minute, for a better understanding, I will write like this. Enter sponsor name. Okay, sponsor name. Sponsor will give the name. And then what I need to do, sponsor company, right? Sponsor company is also a type of string. Input, enter company, sponsor company. And then I need to read how many tie-ups, right? How many tie-ups that sponsor is having. So number of tie-ups equal to, it is an integer, right? Int of input, enter number of tie-ups that a sponsor has. Now once we will done up to this, and then what I need to do, I need to read it, right? So my tie-ups, I'm taking an empty list, and what I need to do, for j in range up to that number of tie-ups, what I need to do, I need to add, right, whatever the company he has given, I need to add to my tie-ups list. So my tie-ups dot append of input means, hold a minute, enter tie-up company name, right? Company name, for example, means for this sponsor, what are the companies that are tied up with? For example, if 5 companies are there, then you will give the 5 elements, and that will be stored in the list called my tie-ups. Now at last I need to read the category, right? The category, sponsor category. Sponsor category is of what type? It is also of string type. So input, enter sponsor category. Sponsor category. Now once we are done up to this, sponsor category has been done. Now I need to create an object, right? Object reference equal to, for what class? For sponsor class I need to take, and I need to initialize all these parameters, means sponsor name, and then the sponsor company, and what are the tie-ups that sponsor is having. Once it was done, I need to take the sponsor category also, and I created a sponsor object. I need to add that object to the sponsors list, right? The list of sponsors. First sponsor has been completed, then I need to add to the sponsors list. Okay, let me take the list name as sponsors, which represents all the sponsors available. Sponsors dot append of object reference. Yes, the sponsor details has been added. Now once it was done, again it will iterate over the loop until all the sponsors details has been collected, and all the sponsors available will be stored in the list format, that is sponsors. Okay, now it's time to call those 2 methods. Before going to call that, let me call this one. Let me take an input. We need to check, right? We need to, for this method, we need to pass a parameter called sponsor category check. Means you will give the input as a sponsor category, and it will return you who are from the sponsors list having that category. Okay, the sponsor name who is having that category. So let me take this input, and I'm going to ask enter sponsor category to check. Category to check, right? So he will give that. Once it was done, let me call those 2 methods. Result 1 equal to get sponsor, right? Get sponsor is the first method, and for that I'm going to pass my array sponsors a list, and then I'm going to pass check that category. It's done. Now for the result 2, what I need to call, the result 2 is what? The result 2 is find sponsor with maximum tie-ups. Yes, sponsor with maximum tie-ups I'm going to take. Once it's done, what I need to pass? I need to pass only the sponsors list. Yes, I have passed it. Now once the results are taken, now see, if the result 1 equal to none, which means what? There are no sponsors from that category, right? In that case, I am going to print a message that No matching record found. No matching record found. It's done. Now else means what? The result is not none. In that case, we can able to find a name, right? In that case, what I need to do? For every name present in the result one means for every name of the sponsor present in result one, I am going to print their names. Print name. Okay. I'm going to get their names means these are nothing but the name of the sponsor who is having the sponsor category as this one. Okay. Now similarly for the result 2 also, see if a result 2 equal to none means what? There is nothing like, right? Maximum types means you can't able to find any sponsor having as maximum. Okay. No matching record found. I'm going to print. And in the else case, what I'm going to do means, hold a minute. Yes, guys, and now please observe. Please observe here. Else block means the result 2 is not none. In that case, I'm going to directly print the result 2. That's it. It represents the name of the sponsor, right, who is having the maximum number of tie-ups. Now, for a better understanding, what we'll do means, hold a minute. For a better understanding, once we got the sponsor list, I will print out the sponsor details. Okay. I will print out all the sponsor details before going to check them. Now, let me print the details here. Let me print the details here. Print s dot sponsor name followed by s dot sponsor. Let me write like this: s dot sponsor tie-ups, right? Tie-ups means what are the companies that he was tied up with. And one more thing, I will give his category also. S dot sponsor category. Let me check it out. Category. We need to write like this. Category. Yes. After this, let me save this and let me check it out. Yeah. It was running fine, and let me give the messages also so that you would feel more interactive. See, I need to take the number of sponsors, right? Number of sponsors available is the thing I'm going to take, and let me save this code and let me run it again. Let me run it again. Yes, the number of sponsors available. For example, 3 sponsors are available. The first sponsor name, right? For example, the first sponsor name is some Bade is the first sponsor name, and his company, right? His company is, for example, Bade Tutorials, and the number of types he has is 5 types, for example, and he has a tie-up with Bade Tutorials, Bade Tutorials India. Similarly, the second company he was Bade Tutorials Australia and Bade Tutorials and England, Bade Tutorials, another New Zealand, and finally another company he has tied up with. For example, he has tied up with online education. Okay, this was a company, for example. Yes, that's done. Means these are the 5 companies that this sponsor is tied up with. And what was the category? He was an education partner, for example. His category is education partner. Next one, the second, right? Second sponsor name, for example, the second sponsor name, I'm going to take it as Sony. And the company name is Sony Corporation, for example. And then he was having tie-ups with the 2 companies. And the tie-up companies are Sony Australia and Sony England. And the next sponsor category, right? For example, entertainment partner. He was an entertainment partner, right? The next thing was what? I'm going to take another sponsor. The next sponsor was, for example, AU Tutorials. For example, AU Tutorials. And then his company, right? His company is also the same, AU Tutorials Point. This was the company name and the number of tie-ups he was having. For example, he was having the number of tie-ups as 3 tie-ups, and the number of tie-up companies for, let me take AU Australia, AU England he was having the tie-up with, and then AU, for example, AU New Zealand, he was having the tie-ups. Now the category he belongs to the same category, education partner. Education partner he was also. Now I need to check, right, sponsor category. Now I'm going to check the sponsors who are with education partner, who was having the category as education partner. Right, observe the results first. Yes, Bade is the first sponsor. Is he was having a list of tie-up companies and he was an educational partner. Similarly, Sony details, AU tutorials and the list of the tie-up companies, and he is also an education partner, right? Now what we need to get? We need to get what? AU tutorials, right? We need to get the sponsors who was having the sponsor category as education partner. Now see, out of this education partner, what are the education partners available? The education partners are Bade, right? He was the sponsor. Because why? Because his category is education partner. Similarly, AU tutorials, he is also education partner. Now when you sort it, AU tutorials will come first and Bade will come next. So that is what printed here. See the list of names of the sponsors who are having the partner, right? Who was having the sponsor category as education partner. The next thing was what? The next thing is you need to get the sponsor name who is having maximum number of tie-ups. See, he was having 2 tie-ups, he was having 3 tie-ups, and the Bade tutorials, right, having 5 tie-ups, which means the Bade is the person sponsor who is having the maximum number of tie-ups. So that is what we got as an output. Okay. In this way, you need to write the code for the both the methods. Observe the methods, get sponsor and find sponsor with maximum tie-ups. Okay. You need to follow this way in order to solve any CPA problem. Please go through the previous sessions also so that you can feel comfortable with problem solving. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe to our channel for more videos.